Elon Musk stepped off the sailboat docked at the Miami harbor, Florida. The early morning sunlight stretched across the crystal-clear water, reflecting dazzlingly off the sails and the historic buildings along the shore, a seamless blend of history and modernity. Yet the serene beauty could not mask the sorrow etched onto his face. Elon's eyes seemed to be searching for something far greater than the dreams he had once relentlessly pursued. He paused, turning toward a journalist waiting for an interview, and unexpectedly asked, "Do you think God supports what I'm doing? Or am I just another man blindly lost in his own ambition?" The question rang out in the quiet like a bell shattering the stillness of a calm lake. Everyone at the harbor froze, struck silent. Elon walked away immediately, leaving behind an unanswered question, a question the world would endlessly ponder. What had he seen? And why would a pioneer of technology suddenly doubt his own faith? Later that afternoon, Elon returned to his cliffside mansion. The ocean breeze swept through every corner of the house, bringing a fresh vitality, yet it couldn't dispel the unease weighing on his mind. He sank into a large armchair by the window, his gaze falling on a thick stack of documents on the desk. Blueprints for a renewable energy plant, designs for Tesla's next-generation electric vehicle, and updates from Neuralink. These once represented his greatest pride, but now they only left him feeling empty. They've achieved what they said was impossible. So why do I feel like something is still missing? Elon murmured, his voice heavy with an unspoken pain. His memories drifted back to the early days of his entrepreneurial journey, when every step was guided by pure passion and grand ideals. But now, those ideals seemed to have been overshadowed by numbers, shareholder demands, and relentless criticism from the outside world. The next morning, Elon arrived at an office tower in the heart of Miami. The energy of young professionals, neatly dressed in their uniforms, filled the air with the familiar buzz of innovation. As he sat at his desk, a young assistant entered, clutching a thick file, her expression betraying visible concern. "Sir, you'll want to see this," she said hesitantly, placing the file before him. Elon opened the first page and was immediately drawn into a flurry of sharp headlines. Elon Musk, revolutionary or tyrant? Is Musk playing God? Another article took aim at his vision. Musk's renewable energy dream, a selfish fantasy ignoring the needs of vulnerable communities. As he turned the pages, one piece quoting an environmental activist caught his attention. Musk talks about saving humanity, but are his monumental projects truly sustainable? Does he care about what he's leaving behind? Another assistant standing nearby spoke nervously. There are also criticisms that Tesla's policies are squeezing smaller businesses and contributing to economic inequality. Elon remained silent for a long time, his brows furrowed deeply. Eventually, he nodded, signaling everyone to leave. Alone in the room, the words from the articles echoed in his mind like invisible daggers. That night, Elon stood before the large glass wall in his office, gazing at the glittering lights of Miami below. The brilliance of the city could not quiet the storm brewing within his soul. Am I truly making the world a better place, or am I just feeding my own ego? Elon questioned himself, his voice trembling with doubt. Two contrasting voices battled in his mind. One was strong, unwavering. Don't listen to them. You're Elon Musk. You've changed the world and they simply don't understand your vision. But another voice, softer and more contemplative, responded. What if they're right? What if your ambition is blinding you to the people you're supposed to help? Elon bowed his head, clenching his fists. These questions weren't new, but tonight they refused to be ignored. His thoughts wandered back to his childhood. He remembered his mother, a woman of unshakable faith, who often told him, "Elon, no matter how smart you are, remember that your talent is a gift from God. You must use it wisely." Now he realized how far he had strayed from those values, swept away by the unending race for technological and commercial success. That night, exhausted from the turmoil within, Elon Musk drifted into sleep on the armchair. In his dream, he found himself standing in a vast, desolate field, where relentless winds swept across the open expanse. Above him, the stars shone brighter than anything he had ever seen. Reaching out, Elon tried to grasp the dazzling stars in the vast sky, yet, with every step forward, the ground beneath him began to crack, as though he was walking on a fragile layer of ice, threatening to collapse at any moment. The world around him was enveloped in an eerie silence, broken only by the sharp sound of the cracking ground and his own laboured breathing. Suddenly, a deep, warm voice pierced the stillness, coming from everywhere and nowhere. "Elon." Startled, he turned around. Standing before him was an older man, cloaked in a simple white robe. His presence carried an unexplainable majesty. His face, lined with deep wrinkles carved by time, radiated kindness. But it was his eyes, piercing and all-seeing, that seemed to gaze straight into the depths of Elon's soul. "Who are you?" Elon asked, his voice tinged with caution and curiosity. The man smiled, a gentle, meaningful smile. "I am the messenger. You've been searching for answers, haven't you? I've come to help you see what truly matters." Elon let out a bitter, dry laugh, his voice filled with a mix of defiance and doubt. "Message from God? Forgive me, but I've built machines that can soar beyond the skies, touch the very edges of space. I didn't find God there." The man remained calm, unfazed by Elon's skepticism. Bending down, he picked up a shard of broken glass from the ground and held it aloft. The light of the stars refracted through it, casting shimmering, fragile beams. "Look, Elon, this is the future you are building, beautiful on the surface but fragile within. Do you even know why you are doing this?" Elon furrowed his brow, his eyes flashing with defensiveness. "I'm doing this to save humanity, so that when Earth becomes uninhabitable, we'll still have somewhere else to go." The man slowly shook his head, his tone calm but weighted with profound gravity. "But what happens if the humanity you save forgets its very soul? You've been so focused on reaching for the stars that you've overlooked the people right in front of you." The words cut through Elon like a knife. He opened his mouth to respond, but no words came out. The man raised his hand, and in an instant a brilliant white light enveloped them both. Before Elon's eyes, a vision of the future unfolded, not one of hope, but a harrowing nightmare. He saw the technologies he had created being abused, robots replacing humans in every industry, leaving millions in poverty and despair. Spaceships departed Earth, ferrying only the wealthy and powerful, abandoning a planet stripped of its resources. Cities that were once hubs of innovation had become barren wastelands where people fought over the remnants of dwindling resources. In anguish, Elon shouted, "No, this isn't the future I wanted. I wanted to help people, to give them hope." The man's voice remained gentle but resolute. "Good intentions mean nothing without responsibility. You've given humanity tools, but you've failed to guide them with values. That is why you feel lost." Elon stood motionless, the man's words stripping away his confident facade and exposing the uncertainty he had long buried. His hands trembled and his gaze dropped to the ground. For the first time, he confronted the shortcomings of his grand vision. "So, what do I do now?" Elon asked, his voice choked with emotion. "If I've lost my way, how can I find the right path again?" The man smiled, his eyes filled with encouragement. "Remember, Elon, science is a gift. But to find the right direction, you need a compass, and that compass is values. When you lead with your heart, the stars will follow. And don't forget, you were never meant to walk this journey alone." Elon awoke, drenched in cold sweat. His eyes, once clouded with doubt, now sparkled with a newfound glimmer of hope, like a star breaking through the stillness of the night. The next morning, Elon Musk stepped onto the balcony where the eastern sky transitioned from the retreating darkness of night to the emerging light of dawn. The last shimmering stars faded into the warm hues of the rising sun, as if making way for a new beginning. This time, Elon no longer saw the stars as symbols of distant dreams or unyielding ambition to conquer space. His eyes, now filled with reflection, scanned the vast sky. I've chased after distant lights and forgotten the people beneath my feet, here on Earth, he whispered, his voice heavy with regret, intertwined with a newfound resolve. In his mind, the bleak vision of the future shown to him by God remained vivid, a painful warning he couldn't ignore. Yet alongside it, profound words echoed, guiding him. Science is a gift, but values are the compass. Elon closed his eyes and drew a deep breath, allowing the crisp morning air to fill his lungs. When he opened them again, his gaze had transformed. No longer clouded by doubt or emptiness, but illuminated by clarity, by an awakening from the depths of his soul. A ray of sunlight broke through the horizon and fell upon the balcony, lighting up Elon's face, as if heralding a new chapter. The following day, Elon convened an urgent meeting with the SpaceX leadership team. The conference room, located in a modern facility at Cape Canaveral, featured glass walls that allowed natural light to flood in. But today, the brightness wasn't enough to ease the tension that gripped the room. As Elon entered, the murmurs ceased instantly. Worry etched itself on every face. Everyone understood this might be a pivotal moment. Standing at the head of the table, Elon's gaze swept across the room, lingering on each person as though seeking a deeper connection. His voice, calm yet commanding, cut through the heavy atmosphere. I've come to realize that we're creating incredible technologies, but the question we need to ask ourselves is this: are we building a future for all of humanity or just for a privileged few? For a moment, silence hung in the air. Clara, a sharp and well-regarded young engineer, hesitated before speaking. "Mr. Musk, what exactly are you trying to say?" Elon took a deep breath, his eyes meeting Clara's but addressing everyone in the room. "It means we must redefine our purpose. Getting humanity to Mars is extraordinary, but it will be meaningless if we leave Earth in ruins. Advancing AI is a monumental achievement, but if it steals jobs without creating opportunities, we've failed. Our talents, the gifts God has given us, must be used to benefit everyone, not just a select few." The room felt frozen. After a few moments of silence, Preston, a seasoned and influential investor, stood abruptly. His face betrayed dissatisfaction. "Elon, what you're saying sounds noble, but we've invested billions into these projects. We can't change direction because of some philosophical epiphany. If you persist, you'll destroy everything we've built." Elon turned to Preston, his eyes steady and unwavering. There was no anger, only an unshakable determination. His voice was calm, yet it carried the weight of his conviction. "Preston, I understand your concerns, but let me ask you this. What's the point of reaching the stars if we lose our souls along the way? I believe we can innovate responsibly. What I'm asking for is not the abandonment of profit, but balance. I need you to trust in this vision." Preston didn't respond, but his expression revealed clear disagreement. The debate continued, intensifying with each argument. Preston persisted, emphasizing that these changes could erode SpaceX's competitive edge and alienate shareholders. Despite mounting pressure, Elon held firm. As the discussions subsided, he unveiled a series of new initiatives, each deeply rooted in prioritizing humanity. SpaceX, a commitment to transitioning entirely to renewable energy across its production and development chains. A portion of profits would be allocated to support communities severely impacted by climate change. Tesla, the launch of an educational campaign in low-income communities to promote clean technologies, alongside affordable electric vehicles to reduce fuel costs and emissions. Neuralink, free training programs for workers displaced by automation, equipping them with new skills to reintegrate into the economy. Elon acknowledged the difficulty of these changes, his voice steady yet resolute. "These changes won't be easy, but they are necessary. The legacy we leave behind cannot solely be about advanced technology. It must also reflect compassion for humanity." At a press conference shortly afterward, Elon stood before hundreds of journalists and made a bold declaration. "I once believed that our destiny lay among the stars, but now I see that our true destiny lies right here, in how we treat each other. The talents we possess are gifts from God, and it is our duty to use them wisely. The speech quickly went viral on social media, garnering millions of shares and comments. One standout response came from Maria, the young girl who had once written an essay about Elon. Mr. Musk, thank you for reminding us that greatness isn't measured by how far we go, but by how many people we bring along with us. In the months that followed, Elon's initiatives began to have a tangible impact, not only within his companies, but across society as a whole. In a small town in Ohio, once devastated by automation, Neuralink's training program restored hope for many families. David, a factory worker who had lost his job after 20 years, was now learning programming in a free training course. On the final day of the program, David stood to address his group. His voice trembled, but his eyes shone with pride. "I thought my life was over when I lost my job, but now I see it was just a new beginning. Thank you for giving me a second chance." David's story quickly spread across social media, becoming a symbol of hope and transformation. But Elon's initiatives didn't stop at individual stories. They rippled out to entire communities. Affordable Tesla electric vehicles began appearing in low-impact neighborhoods, easing financial and environmental burdens for countless families. SpaceX launched global partnerships with environmental organizations, pledging to restore areas ravaged by climate change. Neuralink not only provided training but also delivered advanced technology that helped hundreds of disabled individuals find work and reintegrate into society. At an event in California, Clara, a young engineer who had once challenged Elon, stood to speak. "We're no longer just building technology, we're building hope. Every project, every community is a step toward a better future." Her words left the audience silent in reverence. But not everyone was pleased. Preston, a former investor in Elon's ventures, continued to criticize the changes publicly, calling them an idealistic mistake lacking practical foresight. Nevertheless, Elon remained steadfast, holding on to his belief that true values would shape the future he envisioned. At a critical shareholder meeting held in a luxurious oceanfront hotel in Hawaii, the tension in the conference room was palpable, despite the serene view of the endless blue sea. Preston, a veteran investor, rose to speak, his tone cold and cutting. "Elon, I respect your vision, but respect doesn't pay the bills. These idealistic projects you're pursuing are draining our resources. If we don't refocus, we'll lose our position in the market." Several other shareholders, seated around the long glass table reflecting the sparkling sunlight from the ocean, nodded in agreement. They voiced concerns about declining profits as SpaceX and Tesla diverted resources to projects they deemed impractical. Elon stood at the head of the table, his gaze calm but unwavering. He didn't rush to counter their points. Instead, he let his eyes meet each person in the room, as though searching for a flicker of hope in those who had journeyed alongside him. "I understand your concerns," Elon began, his voice steady yet powerful. "But let me ask you this. What are we building the future for, if it's not a future worth living in? I'm not asking you to blindly trust me. I'm asking you to look at what we've already achieved." He gestured toward the large screen behind him, where the results of recent initiatives appeared. SpaceX, a renewable energy project, revitalized a coastal area in Southeast Asia devastated by a tsunami, providing over 1,000 new homes for residents. Tesla, an affordable electric vehicle campaign, reduced carbon emissions by 20% in major cities like Lagos and Mumbai. Neuralink, over 1,000 disabled individuals regained the ability to work thanks to Neuralink's advanced technology. Turning back to face the room, Elon's eyes gleamed with sincerity. "I know this path isn't easy, but extraordinary things never come from easy choices. I believe we can balance profit with purpose. Together, we can create a legacy that surpasses all of us." Yet not everyone was convinced. Sensing that support for Elon was waning, Preston made a bold move. He called for a vote to restructure SpaceX's leadership. The atmosphere at SpaceX headquarters grew heavy, as if ready to burst under the tension. Employees, usually brimming with creative energy, now felt an unmistakable unease. Yet among Elon's supporters, such as Clara, a young engineer from the space robotics team, faith remained unshaken. Speaking with determination during an internal meeting, she declared, "If we lose Elon, we'll lose the soul of what makes SpaceX different." The vote took place in a glass-walled room atop SpaceX's US headquarters, offering a panoramic view of the city's twinkling lights below. Preston stood to present his case, emphasizing the need for a more pragmatic direction to regain investor trust. When Elon's turn came, he didn't rely on charts or data. Instead, he spoke from the heart, his voice ringing out in the room's expectant silence. "When I started SpaceX, people said it was impossible. They told us we couldn't build rockets, couldn't reach the stars, but we did it. More important than reaching the stars, however, is ensuring that the people here on Earth have a chance to thrive. That is the legacy I want to leave, and I hope it's one you'll be proud to be a part of." When the vote results were announced, a profound silence filled the room, followed by an eruption of applause. The majority of shareholders had sided with Elon, and Preston's attempt to seize control had failed. News of the vote spread quickly, with hashtags like "Trust in Elon" and "Future with Purpose" trending across social media. David, a factory worker retrained through Neuralink, posted an emotional video. "Mr. Musk, because of you, I didn't just survive, I found hope again. Thank you for believing in people like me." Maria, the young girl who had once written an essay about Elon, sent a heartfelt message. "The world needs more leaders like you, people who dream big but never forget the ones they're dreaming for." At a major press conference in Chicago, Elon outlined his next initiatives. "I used to believe that technological progress could solve everything, but through it all, I've realized that progress without purpose is meaningless. Our mission is clear: to build a future where no one is left behind." A year after the vote, at an international conference in New York, Elon stepped onto a grand stage. Behind him, bold letters read, "Building the future with compassion and innovation." Gone was the tension of previous years. In its place was calm resolve. Elon's voice carried deep emotion as he shared lessons from his journey. "Science is a gift, but values are the compass that guides us. A future worth living in is one where no one is left behind." The room fell silent as images of SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink's humanitarian efforts illuminated the large screen. As Elon descended the stage, a young boy approached, his eyes wide with admiration. "Mr. Musk, do you think God is proud of what you're doing?" Elon knelt to meet his gaze and smiled gently. "I hope so, but more importantly, I believe God wants all of us to be proud of how we live, not through perfection, but through our efforts to make the world a better place." Elon's words brought tears to those nearby. His speech became a powerful symbol of compassion and resilience. If this story has touched your heart, we'd love for you to share its message by liking and sharing it with your friends, helping us reach our first milestone of 1,000 subscribers, which means the world to us and allows us to create more meaningful stories for you. Don't forget to share your thoughts about the story and let us know which city you're watching from. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in our next story.